I just want to thank you again for saving my life.
She saved your life?
I had skin cancer.
Skin cancer?
Hey! We're recording the podcast! Shut up!
Good morning to you, wherever you are, because it is morning somewhere for August 1st, 2024. A little early on that one. My name is Bernie Burns. That's me. I'm talking. Sitting right over there. I'm looking right at her. Ashley Burns. How you doing, Miss Ash?
Yeah, I'm here. It's going.
No fancy intro for you today because you led me down a trail of woe and error yesterday.
That's a dramatic way to put it.
It was pretty funny. We made a funny mistake yesterday, which only like one person so far has pointed out.
Yeah, so maybe we're all just making this mistake. Okay, so here's what happened. We were talking about the hockey player who amputated a finger to beat the Olympics.
The hockey player at the Summer Olympics, Paris 2024.
In my head, I was thinking, hockey on an ice rink. That's how I think of hockey. It's field hockey. It's a completely different sport.
Yeah.
So that's my bad. In my defense, field hockey, come on.
Fair. Listen, mine is much more inexcusable. When you said male player cut off his finger, hockey player cut off his finger to compete in the Olympics, when I heard male in hockey, in the U.S., I feel like field hockey is predominantly a female sport. And that's not to say anything. This is a very female Olympics, I got to say. I'm really enjoying it a lot. Like all the breakout stars, except for Pommel Horse Steve, are all female breakout stars. I mean, Simone Biles is not breakout, but she's having a hell of an Olympics.
She is. And Ilona Maher, Katie Ledecky. Is that how you pronounce her last name? Ledecky?
I kind of might have a crush on Ilona Maher. She's pretty fucking dope.
I do too.
Yeah, she's pretty dope. She's the rugby player.
I've been all through her Instagram, and she is just like the sweetest pea, and she also is just like a power horse. It's incredible.
Right. She, you were telling me, I read this thing, I said she has 2 million Instagram followers, and you said she had 1.5.
Like 2 days ago.
Still, though, let's talk about that for a second. She had 1.5 million Instagram followers as a female rugby player before the Olympics?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we're just late getting on the Ilona Maher train.
Yeah, I was talking with somebody about this just recently, and Messi, he has an Instagram following of something, I want to say like, Messi Instagram followers, I'm looking this up on the fly here, everybody. He has 500 million Instagram followers.
That's like a country.
The New York Yankees have 3 million Instagram followers. Sorry. Whenever I say followers, I've always said Twitter followers, like muscle memory there.
But before Twitter died, you mean?
He individually, he has 500 million followers, and the Yankees have something like 3.5 million Instagram followers.
Football's a big deal.
Yeah, no. And individual personalities on social media are a big deal. But it's still kind of crazy to me that she had 1.5 million followers before this Olympics. That's really wild.
Well, it might also have been gaining steam coming in, like as she's come into the Olympics, and all eyes turn to Ilona and all of her like power plays, like fucking decking people as she's sprinting the ball down the field. It's incredible.
Our subreddit, by the way, has started going out and researching all of the things we've been talking about that are in your link dump.
Yeah, we I have a cheat sheet for you. It's called the link dump. It's on the website. Every episode, we put links to the stuff we're talking about, whether it's the coffee maker, whether it's the specific thing where the player's holding the other player upside down. We try to link to those things whenever we can.
Right. For instance, we had a ton of links about ice hockey yesterday. But just as a refresher, if you go to morningsomewhere.com and you're interested in hearing more about what we're talking about, and also all like where we're gathering these stories too, like if we have an AP News story or something like that, or we talk about it, we'll have a link to that in the link dump usually.
And there's usually a lot more information there because we're not getting through all of the articles.
It was also a breakdown of the subreddit saying, is Bernie including in his calculations the coffee beans and the water and the electricity to heat it? How dare you, first of all? How dare you? Why would I include those things? I'm trying to make it seem like it's the best possible value. I'm also saying that our coffee maker gave us $30,000.
But like it's printing money.
That also didn't happen, just so you know. That didn't happen.
I like to think that you push the button and here's the coffee, and then just like out of the machine just slides a crisp new bill that it printed.
I would just sit there making coffee all day. I wouldn't do anything else with my time if it actually made money for us. It's not real math. It's girl math. But it is the economics of saving money on it, right?
Right.
Hey, while we're in not financial advice territory, yesterday the Fed was rumored that they were going to lower rates, which was a big deal. And the market, man, it exploded yesterday. Couple of things. This is from an interesting subreddit I have discovered recently. This is actually Reddit/r/economic collapse, which is all
that
doom and
sounds
gloom.
rosy.
If you just want to indulge your doom and gloom mentality about the economy, this is before yesterday's rally, and this is just a post that somebody made on Twitter that then somebody posted on r/the everything bubble, and then it was reposted on economic collapse. This is from Stock Twits Research. Sounds very reputable. The Magnificent Seven stocks have now erased a combined $2.6 trillion of market cap over the last 20 days. Because this rally that all these major tech companies and AI companies were having, that thing stalled like about a week and a half ago. And the market's been like up and down, all over the place. That's an average of $125 billion of market cap per day for 20 days straight. NVIDIA alone has erased over $1 trillion in market cap since its high seen 1 month ago. In other words, the Magnificent Seven have lost as much value as NVIDIA's entire current market cap in 20 days. That's also $200 billion more than every single stock in Germany's stock market combined.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so it's been a wild time in the stock market. Oddly enough, the equities market, the stock market, is like really volatile right now. And the crypto market just seems kind of like it's just kind of plateaued and stabilized out at like this like mid-60s range. Using Bitcoin, of course, is the watermark. There's always going to be some wild project or something. Somebody has a white paper or something, or this thing's going to explode, or some YouTuber tells
right up until
everybody
it
to
crashes.
buy something.
Yes. It's a weird day when crypto is more stable than stocks.
Yeah. So both the Bank of England and the Fed in the U.S. are talking about lowering interest rates.
Oh, we kind of know that is coming, and I say no. We think that is coming. We theorize that that's coming, and as soon as August, September is when we think that the Fed might finally consider dropping rates, because what they're trying to nail is the quote unquote soft landing.
Yeah, they're trying to. Their inflation numbers are getting where they want. They're not going to eliminate inflation. They're just trying to get inflation down to a respectable level. And so there's all these positive headlines of where inflation is right now versus, Ashley, headlines like Americans are cutting back on groceries in order to pay for AC.
Did you get that from the economic collapse subreddit?
I might have. I might have gotten that back to back.
Where I would get something like that is that I saw a headline, and this was from the BBC, but the McDonald's is going to rethink prices after sales have fallen for the first time since 2020.
I also read that Denny's is getting in on the value menu war because everyone's trying to lower their prices for their food again.
Isn't all of Denny's a value menu?
Yeah, I don't really know. I don't really think of it as being like a highfalutin fine dining.
Look, it's been a while since I've been to a Denny's, especially any time that was not like 2 a.m. Okay.
Do you ever have I think that embarrassment is one of the easiest emotions to recall and then feel that emotion again. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about. Like
you feel the embarrassment.
You think about the thing and you immediately want to crawl in a hole.
Right. You have the same feeling you had. That actually can be amplified because sometimes in the moment you don't realize how embarrassing it was.
And then you stop to think about it and you're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, what have I done?
So this brings a couple of things together. Finn and I are going on a camping trip this weekend. We've been talking about it. We're very excited. I have stuff in the Amazon cart. Ashley, I'm going to try out something I saw on Instagram.
Which is?
Why did I never think of this? Now, you're going to think, like, it's a new way to make s'mores. You've seen where people use, instead of a chocolate bar, they use a Reese's peanut butter cup. Right?
I have, yes.
Child's play. Someone did something so simple and so cool looking, I thought, I got to try that. They bought Rice Krispie Squares.
Right, the kind that come in their own little packaging, sure.
That have way too much marshmallow and way too much sugar somehow. and they roast those instead of
Oh.
marshmallows. And I thought, oh my God, that
there's
seems
an
amazing.
idea. Yeah.
So we're going to try that. We're gonna
Okay.
try that.
You know what else you could do is roast a marshmallow and then roast 2 of those and have a marshmallow sandwich.
You know, also, I have to say, too, one of the things we're going to be doing is I got to go to the butcher and buy like various meats that we can cook over the campfire.
Mm-hmm.
Hot dogs will be top on the list, but we have to find mustard, like cheap, shitty American yellow mustard.
Yeah, in the yellow container with the little triangle top. You do.
That is not like if someone in the UK asks you if you want mustard, everything in the UK
They're going to give you actual mustard. That's the thing.
right. Like we talked about extra mild here. Mustard is the exact opposite of that. The mustard in the UK is so spicy, like it's got like that horseradishy spicy. The mustard's spicy to it. That's different. It is like weapons grade. You have mustard and it goes.
How would you like to die today, motherfucker?
So in order to get Finn to try mustard, I'm gonna have to get like French's mustard.
That's what you got to look for. I don't know where you're going to find it. It might be one of those things that is sold. Maybe go to the grocery store and see if it's in like the American section, or for all we know, it's just like, you know, we've just accidentally got real mustard because we get a lot of the Dijon stuff.
Dude, you don't have to say it like that.
Obama had a huge impact on us. What can I say?
Man, another thing that I was looking up here. Honey-made graham crackers. That is my graham cracker of choice. What's your graham cracker of choice for s'mores, Ashley?
Yeah, honey-made.
Honey-made. So
100%.
honey-made graham crackers. Occasionally when we want to buy American things that aren't available, we can get lucky and find them on Amazon. And sometimes it's out of control.
Oh, I'm well aware.
Honey-made graham crackers. I'm looking on amazon.co.uk. Honey-made graham crackers, 4 packages, 14 ounces. 60 pounds.
What?
60 pounds. That's like $78 to get those here.
Here's what happened. So somebody.
I'm not buying them, by the way. I looked. I remember because I looked it up the other day. And I was like, what? Also delivers by September 16th. Get the fuck out of here.
Here's why. It's because they're going to send a courier to America on an airplane and buy them for you and bring them back and deliver them to your door.
It would be cheaper and more time efficient for me to plant and grow my own grams. What is that? What is a graham cracker? What's the graham part of it?
I assume it's like a honey wheat kind of something or other. But
we take it for granted, though. We all eat these graham crackers.
Oh, yeah. Huge thing in the U.S.
I never had like graham bread. Next time I go to a restaurant, I'm going to go, do you want white or brown bread? I'll say, I would like graham.
It's a sweet flavored cracker made with graham flour.
What is graham flour? That's fucking made up.
Now we are going down a rabbit hole. What the hell is graham flour?
They do have, like here, they do have UK-made graham crackers. They're not the same.
Nothing's ever quite the same. Probably because they don't load it up with sugar and it might actually have some nutritional value.
You watch your mouth over there.
Graham flour is a type of coarse ground flour of whole wheat named after Sylvester Graham.
But what does that mean?
It is similar to conventional whole wheat flour. Both are made from the whole grain, but graham flour is ground differently.
Okay.
It's ground more coarse. It is not sifted with a flour dresser after milling.
So if you ever want to go camping outside of the U.S., make sure you pack your own graham crackers.
You know, my dad once visited me in Australia, and I took him camping there. He brought me American marshmallows, and he brought me graham crackers to take camping because they just weren't the same there. The marshmallows that you could get, the non-American marshmallows, first of all, they're flavored differently, and second of all, there's something about the roasting process that did not work. So he got me these comically extra large American marshmallows, and all my friends were like, "That's a marshmallow." They thought that must be a normal marshmallow. It was a very funny trick.
Do they have fluff? Like
They absolutely do have fluff.
Is that the American version of Nutella, essentially? And why is it Nutella more popular in America?
I don't know why.
Everywhere
it's not.
outside of
it's
America
steam.
eats that. Yeah.
I feel like it's gained steam for sure, but I don't know why it's not more popular in the US.
It's a jar of chocolate. You would think that Americans would be
it's not.
all over that.
Hazelnut, thank you.
Horseshit, I don't know. It's just chocolate. We make fun of Americans for being fat, but Germans eat this stuff by like the gallon, this Nutella stuff.
And yet, maybe not quite by the gallon because
Have you seen some of the containers of
I
Nutella,
have,
how big
they're-
it gets?
Yeah, they're like these like 2 gallon. Yeah, they're big.
Yeah.
But that's because it's a lifestyle, Bernie.
They also have a thing here called, I only ever saw them on planes before, Biscoffs, which are like the little, like a biscotti, but
Yeah, like
it's a
a-
cookie version of it.
Like a ginger snap, except sweet.
Okay. Ginger
Sweeter.
snap in terms of appearance, not in terms of flavor.
In appearance and overall texture, I'd say, and the way it crunches. But it's sweet as opposed to giving you a little bit of that spice.
It's like 30% graham. But they have a Biscoff spread here, which is just like, it looks like peanut butter, but it's basically just ground up cookies and more sugar in a spreadable form. Have you seen this?
I have not seen that, but that sounds.
We've had like 6 jars here. You haven't seen
That depends. Are the jars 2 gallons each?
No, my God, it's so good. I think they sell something like that in the U.S. at Trader Joe's. They have like a cookie spread.
They do.
Like cookie butter, I think it might be called.
Yeah, mhm. It's good. By the way, it's really good.
I like that we're making people listen to this first thing in the morning.
Hope you're not hungry.
Hope you've already had breakfast by the time that you listen to this podcast. But I'm excited to go camping with Finn. And to bring this back all around, the embarrassment thing that we were just talking about like 30 minutes ago or whatever, we were in a Denny's one time.
You and Finn?
No. Sorry. This is years ago. This is with my mom. And we were in a Denny's and it was in Austin. She came to visit me. I was with my girlfriend. I think she was meeting my girlfriend for like one of the first times. So it was already an awkward situation and everything like that. And there was just in the lobby, like atrium area of Denny's was a clearly homeless guy. Like he had everything he owned with him. He had like a huge backpack on. He had all this stuff and everything. And we walked in and we were getting our table and all this stuff. And this guy was like walking out. He seemed like he was in a bad mood already. And my mom goes, "Hey, look at all your stuff. Are you going camping?" And I was just like, I don't know why I can recall that to this day. And then he goes, "At least you have a place to stay, lady." And he walked out. And she was like, "Well, he was kind of rude." I was like, "Oh, no."
Did you like crawl under the counter?
I wanted to. I want to crawl under the counter now, even thinking about it. She didn't mean anything by it, of course. She just made a mistake. But my girlfriend at the time would bring that up all the time. In an embarrassing situation, she would always say, like,
Which is like, you going camping?
Are you going camping? But yeah, so what else is going on in the world, Ashley? There's some kind of depressing news out there.
Yeah,
A lot of video game layoffs. There's a strike about to take place. SAG-AFTRA is about to go on strike against the video game industry.
Yeah, so they're picketing today actually against Warner Brothers. So SAG-AFTRA has voted to strike for video games. They voted on that last week, and today they're actually starting a picket outside Warner Brothers. Specifically, they're looking for AI protections, saying that video game talent is even more at risk because the ability to replicate voices is much more widespread, and so they want raises and they want protections against use of AI to replicate people's voices in games. It's going to be a tough one, I think.
Why do you think it'll be a tough one?
There are not nearly as many really high-profile actors, for one, who do video game things that you'd be like, oh, well, I'm not going to play this video game if this actor's not in it, right?
Gotcha.
And also that the video games are still getting made. Right, the voice acting part of the of a video game is a much smaller part of the overall whole. It's very difficult to make a movie without any actors
or a TV show. Yeah, production will stop in that case.
Right. Whereas with this, they will use placeholders. They will use their internal guys. They will continue making the game and then probably hope that the strike blows over before they actually need the voices to roll the game out.
I have worked around the video game industry for a really long time, and I've talked to some people who are voice actors on some of the biggest video games, and I was always kind of shocked it makes sense, but when you hear someone say it out loud, it's really shocking when a game will be in development for 3 years and the voice actors had 3 days of work, 4 days of work.
For a main character.
And that was it. That was all they needed, you know? Like, they came in at the beginning, they did some dialogue, and then they came back in to clean up some stuff, or, you know, a lot of times levels get cut and things like that. And, yeah, they have to go through and put in placeholder dialogue and things like that, and then that's it. They're done.
It's also, I think, in my opinion, video game voice acting is very hard work. It's not exactly like a Pixar or something, right? Where you go in the sound booth and there's the script and you read the script, and it's a very direct and set narrative. For the most part, video game voice acting is going to be a lot of hard work. So think like a Mass Effect or something, right? Like something where you can take different branching paths and you have to record dialogue for each of the different options for every single combination of those things. Direction isn't always super clear, and it's a lot of very hard work. And the thing is, I do think that video game, like a really good voice performance, elevates a character in a major, major way. But I think that because you don't see the person, it's easier to forget that. And the thing is, there are some very, very talented people working in the industry. And I do hope that this strike works out for them, that they get the protections that they're looking for. I think it's going to be a slog, though. I think it's going to be a really tough strike for them.
It could be a long one. So that's what I was thinking, too. It just could be, to be effective, it's got to be a really, really long strike. And it's been, you know, communicated for months now, at least. So video game companies could very easily get out of the way of this coming, you know, essentially.
Right.
And one of the things I always think about is like the amount. Did you ever hear the story about Ian McKellen breaking down on the set of one of the Lord of the Rings movies, one of the Middle Earth movies?
Yeah,
he
was upset about the green screen, that he felt like this isn't acting.
Because he's not around anybody.
Right,
He's
he was
just acting
alone
by himself on a big green set. He's like, what am I doing? I think, man, you know, for video game actors in a sound booth, sometimes they're reading. You only think about, when you think about voice acting, I think a lot of people think about the cutscenes, you know, where you're acting in a traditional, you know, performance where you're playing off of other characters. You might even be able to hear other dialogue. But a lot of times with video games, you're doing scripted stuff where you don't even know what the scenario is. And
Yeah,
you're
like
reading,
you don't know the context at all.
You're reading like the 18th iteration of a conversation that could take place or might not take place at all. And then you'll hear every now and then in a video game, you're like, that sounds completely out of context, like a voice acting read. It's like, that's because the actor probably had no idea what was going on. Personal story from this was, 20 years ago now? There was, do you remember TomToms, the navigation devices?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Before everyone had a GPS in their phone, there was dedicated devices, and TomTom.
And you would like suction cup it to your dashboard, and it would have its GPS. And I remember the TomToms specifically, you could get like voice packs. So you could get like Hulk Hogan or Homer Simpson to read the directions.
Okay, you're leading right into this anecdote. So on the forums, people discovered that you could create custom packs for a TomTom, and you could just load it up yourself or submit it through the site or something like that. It was basically user-generated content. And the voice actress who played Sheila the Tank from Red vs. Blue had seen a forum post where people said, I would love to have Sheila as the voice of my navigation. And
That would be funny.
And she said, I'd like to do that. I go, that sounds like a lot of fun. And it wasn't something, by the way, that we were going to sell to TomTom and then sell to users. It's going to be like a fun, you know, like thing we would make, and we would let people download it and they could put it up themselves. We got the packet of what you had to record. I'm serious when I say this. I think it was something like 35,000 lines of dialogue.
Oh my God.
I did the math on it, and we were going to have to work for like 3.5 months, 8 hours a day with her in the sound booth in order to make that. And I was just like, her name's Mary Cruz. I was like, Mary, we just don't have the ability to do this, and you're not going to want to do this. Like, you will spend 3.5 months doing something that like 25 people are going to download, to do it. It went from a very fun thing to, how the fuck do people do this? For a living, how do they do it?
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, it was just insane. I don't even know if a person's voice could hold up, like doing, reading like every street name in America. Think about that. It was crazy. It was a crazy amount of dialogue. And also, just after you're done with it, how do you manage all those files? You got to go through and name them all a certain thing.
Each one and make sure you cut each one to the right length, so you don't have a bunch of like overhang silence at the beginning or the end of the file, so that it can, tie in with all the other 30,000 files. Oh my God, it sounds like a horror show.
But it's great. I'm glad SAG-AFTRA is doing something. SAG-AFTRA, I'm a member of SAG, full disclosure. The last strike that happened against the Hollywood studios, actually, a lot of people were upset about the concessions they gave on AI. So SAG already doesn't have a great reputation, at least at the moment, for this, of how to deal with it. A lot of the unions, especially SAG and the WGA, they tend to be more looking in the past than looking ahead, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's always a problem. And then, we're seeing across the board, I'm amazed that the entire video game industry doesn't have a union like SAG. I can't believe it, because you look at this year, there's been a bloodbath, and there's another one now. Bungie just laid off 17% of their workforce, which was how many people, Ash?
It was 220.
That's 17%.
That's 17%. I had no idea Bungie had that many people.
That's
I mean, I
a
knew
lot of
that,
people.
I've always known Bungie is big, but that, like, for 220 people to only be 17%, that is a huge studio.
Puts them well over 1,000, doesn't put them up towards like 1,500, 2,000, but they're over 1,000 people. They're working on 3 franchises now. They're working on Destiny, an undisclosed franchise, and Marathon as well. And that's not even one of the biggest ones, 200 people.
No, it's not. This year has been really particularly bad for the video game industry. Already this year, including Bungie, there have been like 11,000 and now 200 layoffs in the video game industry just this year. I'm going to read you some of the highlights. January was the bad one. January was awful. That was Unity laid off 1,800 people, Twitch laid off 500, Playtika laid off 400, and Discord laid off 170, and then Riot did layoffs later that month. Like, that was over 500 people, and then Microsoft got in on it. They let off 1,900 people in Microsoft gaming in January.
Well, the crazy standout to me in that is that Discord laid off as many people as Bungie.
Yeah, that's crazy to me.
That's pretty crazy. I wonder how big of a reduction that was for Discord in general. Wow.
I'm not really sure, but it's been ongoing throughout the year. Pretty much everyone, Sony, EA, Sega, Creative Assembly, Take-Two, everyone is reducing their studio sizes.
And no one is specifically saying AI at all, but I'm sure everyone's looking ahead to these kinds of things. And you're seeing this in general. There's been actually a lot of backlash in Hollywood where people are trying to message and say the huge downturn that so many people are experiencing, specifically in LA, which is a very real thing. There is a complete lack of jobs in the entertainment industry in Los Angeles compared to what there used to be. And people are being very careful to say, it's not because of the strikes. This is something else is going on here. It's all these companies are reporting huge revenues. They're writing off entire movies and things like that. And yet all the work seems to be evaporating. So something deeper is going on in entertainment in general. And it's hard not to point the finger at technology and AI specifically.
Well, especially when so many execs have been rubbing their hands and being so excited about like all the workers AI could replace, and then going very quiet.
Yeah, or like all the efficiencies that are going to happen and everything like that. But then you look ahead. It's like, what's the long-term plan here, guys? I mean, I realize that technology's an inevitable force that ever marches forward, but what does this look like in 5 years? What does it look like in 10 years? Who's going to be buying your stuff?
Right, and where are they going to get the money for that?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's it all going to come from? Anyway, any bright spots in the world today, Ashley? Any other cool things going on in the world that we can end on a positive note?
I
had a cool thing.
that?
We're talking about machines. We're talking about a coffee machine. I got a great night's sleep last night because I saw an Instagram post that said, if you have a white noise machine in your toddler's room, get rid of it, because they showed some kind of study that white noise machines, if you leave them on all night, actually end up long-term disturbing your sleep in the middle of the night and destroying your wake cycles.
Really?
And I was going through a thing, which you noticed, where I was waking up in the middle of the night. And I had a little white noise machine next to me. So I decided to turn it off, and I slept completely through the night last night.
I love
Anecdotal?
a nice silent sleep.
What's that?
I love a nice, like, quiet, silent bedroom in the night. I love that.
I might try to put it on a timer so that it shuts off on its own, because I like to fall asleep to something. But then, when you're going all night, there's something about that having noise in the background has something for you to engage with when you start to kind of come out of sleep a little bit.
Interesting.
So,
okay.
So no more white noise.
All right. So
That's
no
all it
more.
says.
I'm not just going to sit there going, it's almost pumpkin season.
It only makes white noises. It goes,
Well, I'm not going to need to go to the gym this week. Halloween's my favorite holiday.
oh my God, I can't believe they don't let dogs in this restaurant. I turn on my white noise machine and it immediately goes, Alexa, how do you spell Chardonnay? Who even plays field hockey?
Well, we can't thank the white noise machine enough. But you know who we can thank, Bernie? Nicholas Bash and Dr. Crothers. Thank you both for sponsoring this episode of the show at patreon.com/morning somewhere.
All right, well, that does it for us today. The first day of August 1st, 2024. We will be back to talk to you tomorrow. We hope you all will be here as well.
Bye, everybody.